Time now for some business news on the programme, and Stephen Carroll joins me here in the studio. Stephen, good morning.
Hi, Nadia.
You're going to be starting us off then in the United States and having a look at some of the stock market reaction to those gun control moves by retailers I was just mentioning.
Because we did have reaction not only from gun makers but also from those retailers in the wake of those moves, and of course the comments by Donald Trump on gun control as well. Shares in the largest US gun maker, Sturm Ruger, fell by 6% on Wall Street yesterday. American Outdoor, which owns the Smith & Wesson brand, was down by over 3%. Meanwhile, the retailer Dick's Sporting Goods, which said yesterday also that it would stop selling guns to those under 21, but also that it would stop selling assault rifles, their shares rose in trading and finished up 0.2% after announcing those new restrictions.
Stephen, staying on Wall Street then, where it's the music streaming service Spotify is apparently heading.
The Swedish company has filed for its debut on the New York Stock Exchange. The initial public offering values Spotify at up to $23 billion. It will be an unusual stock market launch, though. The company will only be listing current shares and not offering new ones for sale, as is standard practice. The paperwork Spotify filed for this IPO gives us the clearest picture yet of the state of the company's business. Brian Quinn has the details.
Music to its investors' ears as Spotify prepares to list its shares on the New York Stock Exchange. The company says it expects shares to sell at prices that would put its market value at up to $23 billion, making Spotify one of the biggest tech IPOs since 2012. But is it worth it? Spotify is the world's biggest music streaming service, available in 61 countries, but it faces stiff competition from rivals like Apple and Amazon, both of whom are pushing hard into music streaming. Spotify is in the lead, with 159 million monthly users, 71 million of whom are paying subscribers. Apple is next with 36 million subscribers, followed by Amazon with 16 million. But Spotify has yet to turn a profit. Revenue is rising, over 4 billion euros in 2017, up 38% from the previous year. But losses are mounting as well, rising to 378 million euros in 2017. Spotify's IPO won't be typical. Instead of hiring an investment bank to underwrite the release of new shares, investors and employees will be able to list existing shares directly. With revenue growth outpacing costs, many are optimistic for Spotify's future, but the road could get rockier. In filing data, the company flagged problems with its financial reporting from 2015 to 2017, a major potential stumbling block as it looks to find its feet on the public market.
Meanwhile, Stephen, February, not a good month then for the US stock market.
It's actually its worst month in 2 years on Wall Street. That's after global stock markets slumped at the start of the month over fears the US Federal Reserve would raise rates faster than previously expected. The main Wall Street indices did manage to claw back some of the losses as the month went on, but the Dow Jones lost 4% over the month, as did the S&P 500, while the Nasdaq finished down 1.9% for February. Now, that's despite the majority of company results being better than expected. Some firms actually had a particularly good month. Shares in Netflix rose by 10% in February, while Amazon was up by 9%.
Stephen, though it is now a new month, tell us, how have the markets been looking so far?
Not great, to be honest, is the answer. It's not a great start to the month. We have got European shares starting in the red, not by much, it has to be said. They're all just nudging into negative territory there. Here in Paris, shares in the French retailer Carrefour opening down over 4% after their latest results published yesterday. There's also news from the world's biggest advertising company, WPP. Their shares down 8% in London after their latest results. This was the picture in Asia. Falls on the Nikkei in Tokyo, falls on the Kospi in Seoul as well. Chinese markets, though, faring a little bit better. We'll take a look now at one of the companies we've been following for you today. It's the French car maker PSA. They own the Peugeot and Citroën brands. They've reported record profits, but there has been some trouble with its purchase of the Opel and Vauxhall brands, bought them from General Motors last year, and the latest results showing the division lost almost 180 million euros in the last 5 months of 2017. The overall picture for PSA was better, though. Full-year profits up 23% to just under 4 billion euros. That's the record for the company. Shares in the car maker up over 3% at the open in Paris.
And Stephen, finally from you this morning, the accountancy firm PwC is preparing for the Oscars on Sunday and trying not to make some of the mistakes that they were so notorious for last year.
It was one of those things people will remember from last year's Oscars ceremony. The mistaken announcement of La La Land as the winner of Best Picture. It was actually Moonlight. That was because a PwC partner handed the wrong envelope to the presenter. Hugely embarrassing for the firm. They've been counting and supervising the Oscars votes for many, many years. The Wall Street Journal today reporting about the precautions they're taking this time around. They include a new team, new safeguards to prevent mistakes, and they'll also rehearse a procedure for if they hand out the wrong name in the same way they did last year. So at least everyone will be a little bit more prepared. The PwC partners who'll be handing out the envelopes have also been banned from using their mobile phones to avoid any possibility they may be distracted by taking selfies with celebrities.
Extraordinary stuff. Stephen, thank you very much indeed. Stephen Carroll there with our business update. And now